Long ago, in the heart of the Kono land, there lived a hunter named Tamba. Tamba was known throughout the village for his skill in tracking and hunting the wild animals of the forest. He was strong, brave, and quick, but he had one flaw that overshadowed all his virtues: his insatiable greed. One day, Tamba set out into the dense forest, determined to bring back a great catch. As he walked deeper into the woods, the trees grew taller, and the sunlight barely touched the ground. The air was thick with the sounds of birds chirping and leaves rustling in the wind. Tamba moved silently, his eyes scanning the ground for tracks, his ears alert for any sign of movement. Hours passed, and Tamba grew weary, but he pressed on, driven by the thought of the wealth and admiration he would receive if he returned with a grand prize. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, casting long shadows across the forest floor, Tamba reached a small, hidden stream. He knelt down to drink, when suddenly, his eye caught a flash of gold in the water. There, swimming gracefully in the clear stream, was the most beautiful fish Tamba had ever seen. Its scales shimmered with a golden light, and its fins sparkled like diamonds. Tamba's heart raced with excitement. This was no ordinary fish, it was a treasure beyond his wildest dreams. He could already imagine the riches he would gain by selling such a rare creature. With careful precision, Tamba cast his net into the water. The golden fish darted back and forth, but it could not escape the skilled hunter. In a matter of moments, Tamba had caught the fish and held it in his hands, marveling at its beauty. But as he looked into the fish's bright, intelligent eyes, something unexpected happened. The fish spoke. "Please, kind hunter," it said in a soft, melodic voice, "spare my life, and I will grant you any wish you desire." Tamba was stunned. A talking fish. Surely, this was a gift from the spirits. His mind raced with possibilities. He could wish for gold, for land, for power, anything he wanted could be his. But instead of being content with just one wish, Tamba's greed took over. "I will spare your life, fish," Tamba said, his voice trembling with excitement. "But in return, I want wealth beyond measure. I want gold, jewels, and riches that no one in this village has ever seen before." The fish looked at Tamba with its wise eyes and nodded. "Your wish is granted," it said. "When you return to your village, you will find your home filled with treasures beyond your wildest dreams. But remember, hunter, be content with what you have been given." Tamba couldn't believe his luck. He quickly released the fish back into the stream and rushed home, his heart pounding with anticipation. As he neared his village, he could hardly contain his excitement. And when he finally reached his house, he was not disappointed. Piles of gold coins, sparkling gems, and precious jewels filled every corner of his small hut. It was more wealth than he had ever imagined, and his eyes gleamed with greed. He had done it, he had become the richest man in the village. But as the days passed, Tamba's greed grew. The more he had, the more he wanted. The memory of the fish's warning faded from his mind, replaced by a burning desire for more wealth. He returned to the forest, back to the stream where he had caught the golden fish. Once again, Tamba cast his net into the water, and once again, he caught the fish. This time, he did not hesitate. "Fish," he demanded, "I want more riches. I want more gold, more jewels, more treasures. Grant me my wish, or I will take your life." The fish looked at Tamba sadly and sighed. "Hunter," it said, "you have already been given more than enough. But if you insist, I will grant your wish once more. But this is the last time." Tamba's heart leaped with joy as he released the fish and hurried back to his village. And true to the fish's word, his house was overflowing with even more riches. There was so much gold and so many jewels that he could barely move inside his own home. But still, it was not enough for Tamba. His greed consumed him, and he could think of nothing else but gaining more wealth. The villagers, once in awe of his riches, began to whisper behind his back. They saw how the wealth had changed him, how it had turned him into a man who cared for nothing but gold. But Tamba paid no heed to their whispers. All he could think about was the golden fish and the untold riches it could still give him. And so, once more, he set out into the forest, determined to demand even more from the magical creature. When he reached the stream, Tamba did not even bother to greet the fish. He simply cast his net and caught it, his eyes blazing with greed. "Fish," he snarled, "I demand more wealth. I want to be the richest man in the land. I want palaces, lands, and servants. Grant me my wish, or I will kill you." The fish looked at Tamba with a deep sadness in its eyes. "Hunter," it said softly, "you have been given everything you could ever need, yet it is not enough for you. I warned you to be content, but you have not listened. Now, you must face the consequences of your greed." Before Tamba could respond, the fish slipped from his grasp and disappeared into the depths of the stream. Tamba waited, expecting to see his wish fulfilled, but nothing happened. The forest around him grew quiet, and a chill wind blew through the trees. Confused and angry, Tamba hurried back to his village, but when he reached his home, he found nothing but an empty hut. All the gold, all the jewels, all the riches he had gained were gone. The walls of his house were bare, the floors empty. Everything he had wished for had vanished. Tamba's heart sank with despair. He had lost everything, not just the wealth he had gained, but also the respect of his fellow villagers, his pride, and his dignity. He was left with nothing but his greed, which had consumed him and left him with an empty, hollow life. From that day on, Tamba was a changed man. He wandered the village, a shadow of his former self, filled with regrets for what he had lost. The villagers, who had once envied his wealth, now pitied him. They saw the toll that greed had taken on him, and they learned from his mistakes. And so, the tale of Tamba, the greedy hunter, was passed down through the generations, a reminder to all who heard it of the dangers of greed and the importance of being content with what one has. The golden fish was never seen again, but its lesson lived on in the hearts of the people, a warning to those who would seek more than they need, and a reminder that true wealth lies not in gold or jewels, but in the simple joys of life and the contentment of the heart.